2, 1, go.
Hey AfterBuzzers, you're tuned into the Silicon Valley After Show. We're going to talk about Season 3, Episode 9, Daily Active Users, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We're back. Only one more episode left.
Jeez.
Crazy.
What a whirlwind it's been.
Dang, I know. Ups and downs.
A lot of emotions.
Yeah. What an emotional season. No, not really. But hey guys, how's it going? Quinn's not here today, but I got these awesome guys. Where can we find you on the internet?
Hi guys, I'm Michael Janak. You can find me on Instagram at Michael Janak, and you can find me on Twitter at Michael D. Janak. That's Janak with a J.
With a J, don't forget it.
Don't forget it.
What's up? I'm Michael Rippe. You can find me all over social media at Mike Rips, MikeRips, or right here.
Hey, I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo. So, not doing well, Pied Piper, right?
No.
Not doing well. Sounds good, 500,000 installs, one of the most popular new apps.
But I knew it, and I feel so validated because obviously, I can't say like I called it because I think there was a lot of foreshadowing, but Monica was right. I knew Monica was going to be right. Everything seemed way too good to be true because everybody's like going around town, Pied Piper, Pied Piper. I knew it. That's not the way this show works.
But they got a cool advertisement. They got a no shoes party.
Yeah.
They got something.
But
right?
it's not like
Mike and I-
comfy no-shoes party.
Mike and I weren't sure that the show had even started
Right?
yet because the advertisement
yeah.
was so authentic.
What
It
do you-
looked so real.
What a unique way to start the episode.
Yeah,
I
it was
know.
cool.
Yeah, it's because it's an application made by engineers, so engineers love it, but us normal people are like, what?
That makes a lot of sense. I thought that was a really cool curveball that they threw. Because I kept thinking myself, like, there's got to be something wrong with it. There's got to be something wrong. And I couldn't figure it out. But that makes so much sense that he just showed it to all of his engineer friends. So obviously it was like it went above
Yeah.
the average person's head.
I think it's kind of cool too because we're kind of normal people and we don't really know how to explain what Pied Piper is. So
Yeah, exactly.
it was cool seeing him try and explain it. But even then, it's just like he's still smarter and just expects everybody to be smarter. Like, you
And
know
yeah.
what's in yogurt? Electrolyte.
Yeah.
And you saw when he started to explain it in like the focus group, the whiteboard, it was so detailed and
Yeah.
crazy. Like there's no
Yeah.
way you could possibly be following all of that.
Well,
Yeah.
it kind of like sort of like when you make something and you show it to somebody and they're like sort of like maybe you think it's funny and they're kind of like and you're like, no, you don't get it. But it doesn't matter if they get it or not. It's like you didn't do right because you didn't cater to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it seems so I'm like so frustrated on behalf of Richard because he did like the best thing he could and it was just too good.
Yeah, too ahead of its time.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
loved that there was a line there. Being too early is the same as being wrong. Yeah.
However, I don't think we're done.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Like the roller coaster that this season has been with Pied Piper, the ups, the downs. I think we're gonna get an up somewhere next episode.
I mean, he was trying with the guerrilla marketing and the tutorials.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm saying Bernice has to be like their spokesperson. If she's a normal person who ended up really loving it, she could explain to other people.
I thought she was actually gonna have another like they were gonna bring her back after
Yeah,
that, but
I was
Me
like,
too.
I did think they were gonna be like, oh, you know what? The answer is Bernice, because she's like she like gets it and loves it.
it's like they flipped her. She was adamantly against it right at the start, and
Yeah.
then she's like, oh, I get it.
I love that it wasn't even just like, oh, it confused us. It's that it freaked them out.
Yeah.
They were freaked out by it.
Totally freaked out. Everybody except for one person raised their hand for being totally freaked
And the
out.
guy who wasn't
Not
totally freaked out
hated it.
thought it was like Terminator.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
thought they were all gonna die.
Yeah, that-
but if you guys could explain what Pied Piper is, could you?
I can now because they went through the tutorial, I think. But to be honest, I would not have been able to before this episode.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of like a Dropbox, but he explained that it's not even on your phone.
Now it's
That
what,
it's
it's
just
like the cloud
Particles. Yeah.
but doesn't take any space up anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like 0 kbs or.
Yeah, I wonder if this is actually possible, like in tech world, like if like real engineers, and let us know if you do, but if this the thing that he was explaining is actually possible, or if this is like total science fiction.
I think it's completely science fiction, is my opinion.
I think it is.
Because we would have like seen this, or they would be giving us an idea.
Or maybe it is just like, or maybe like some engineer out there knows like this is possible, but it's like
down the road,
way down the road.
Oh, well, of course, he can never say.
Yeah, but I mean,
down the road,
it just.
Maybe.
I mean, it seems total science fiction.
You know, I thought in general this episode was really, I don't know, disappointing or just so interesting for me because I was very excited after last episode, and I feel like this episode just there wasn't any humor really to it. It was very downtrodden, and I don't know. I just kind of lost what's going on.
I kind of disagree with you.
Really?
I thought for like there were like 3 episodes before this one where I'm like, what's going on? Like we had a whole episode about Monica like being hesitant, which I thought was like a weird episode. We had that whole romance episode, and I was like, this doesn't feel like Silicon Valley to me. Like, because the first 2 seasons, it was all like this episode of like. We think we're doing well, but we're not, and it's progressing like Pied Piper and how. But there was so much before Erlich's storyline and everything felt sort of off course to me. So I actually watched this episode and I was like, we're back on track.
Well, that's an interesting point. I'm sorry, Kelly. Tell us what you guys thought, because we obviously are seeing it a little different today, but it would be great to know what you guys think. I mean, did you love the episode? Did you not love it? And let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
What did you think, Kelly?
I thought it was a good. I feel like it's difficult with Silicon Valley to sometimes balance the humor and the storyline. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like the funnier episodes, we don't really go anywhere with Pied Piper.
Right.
Whereas this one, it does show like the dilemmas that Pied Piper faces, but I think you're right. There wasn't really much comedy in it. Not much Erlich, I think that's why. Well, and even Jared, he wasn't even that funny. Like he was a great character. Like he helped out in a bad way with Pied Piper.
Well, also here's a point of contention I have. They were selling gear in front of the subway, like the subway deal, and at CES. And all of a sudden, last episode, they had such a big thing about their yellow Pied Piper track jackets, and they were such a hit. And yet, to this episode, the episode following last episode, they didn't show us they used yellow track jackets at all. They just went to new green stuff, which is fine. It's just like a little discrepancy that I thought.
I think it costs too much money to make those jackets. That's why they're just making T-shirts to just give away for free.
I felt like they just kind of glossed over that. And then additionally, at the end of the episode, I thought it was really a little bit overdoing with the, I guess they're in India? Where was it?
Bangladesh.
Yeah. And did they really need to finish the scine for like 30 seconds? The same thing? It was kind of like
super creepy.
You could do it 10 seconds, we get it. We get the point. I just thought there was a lot of time in this episode where I don't know, I guess I'm wanting more resolution to some of this stuff, and I feel like at this point we're almost like hamsters on a wheel. And we're just circling.
Yeah, what's going to happen next?
I mean, I guess the highlight, I think, was actually the bringing back Jack. He's back in.
We'll talk about that later, though, because we're going to do the Pied Piper stuff. But, yeah, so Jared decides to buy Click people. Click farms in Bangladesh, 7,000 users.
Yeah.
And then another 1,000 a day, which you definitely know that's going to bite him in the ass, like, next episode.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like so pro Jared doing that though, because when I saw like Richard like in the bathtub, I'm like, Richard has come up against so many like obstacles before this one that seemed like way more dire and like imminent death. Like lawsuit, I mean everything. You can name so many like fiascos that happened, and he didn't give up through all of these. This one to me doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
Well, I kind of agree with you, and to further, I was a little disappointed in the fact that it was only 7,000 users too that were needed to maybe change the outlook of the company. They had 24,000 when they were pushing up.
It's so little though. Like their active users are so like it started out with 19,000. It was at 19. So that's almost half of that.
Well, but then they showed us a scene where it was up to about 23 and change, and then so I feel like to get 7,000 more, is it really that dramatic that they're all dancing and so excited? Like
I feel like within a day, that's a big change.
I think it was a little.
I thought it was a little bit of a stretch. At least that's all. It was that saving, like that much of an effort. It just didn't seem believable.
He started the episode saying they needed 250,000 to even break even. Or
Monica was mentioning like under 100,000, and then when he said 19,000, she's like 81,000. That's gonna be really bad. So really, is it 24,000 to 31,000? Like the most dramatic improvement that the guys should be like so excited. Like it just didn't seem believable. I just thought there was a little holes there.
I think Jared doesn't want it to look too obvious that he stole, that he bought that many people. So it looks, and then it's gonna be a total of like 14,000 because he's 1,000 a day.
I guess it just seemed
so it's like almost doubling it.
It just seemed like Richard gave up too easily, and then he got back on board too easily.
Just the whole scenarios, and also and you could see that Guilfoyle questions Jared. Are those real? Like he's on to him.
And he knew too.
He's on to him, and Jared starts acting shady because he takes the call in the other room. So clearly there's something up there.
Did you guys think that that Guilfoyle knew that he was lying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I think he said that. I don't think he believes him because Guilfoyle's been the one that's kind of he's got good instincts.
Yeah. And that's been, they set up that pattern from the beginning of this episode. Yeah.
See, I thought that he was like calling him out on each lie, but Jared got good enough where this one he believed him.
But
I don't know.
So.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. But yeah, so while that's going on, they're struggling with Pied Piper. The big bad Gavin, he just won't quit.
Yeah.
Unlike the people from Pied Piper, they start quitting.
Yeah, customer service reps.
Yeah, they start going to Hooli. One guy, Douglas, goes to Hooli and just basically tells Gavin everything.
Yeah.
And they bring back Jack Barker as the head of product for Hooli and Frame to bring back the box.
The box is back.
Yeah, is that going to be a big threat for Pied Piper? I feel like it's different what they want.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, because at first I was like, ooh, they're back. But now that you say that, it's like, well, the box is completely different than their compression platform, so it's not really competition.
I'm in a weird place right now with understanding the whole how it all ties into everything. So I don't know.
Because I think the box is primarily for companies, right? Whereas
to store all their data.
Yeah. Whereas Pied Piper's for
like individuals. Yeah.
That's the whole argument that that Richard had in the beginning.
Yeah. That's true. Gavin, our big like arch nemesis, is back on top, but it doesn't seem like it's a direct threat to Pied Piper. Mm-hmm. So that is pretty interesting.
And we know that the box is not back for no reason, though. So it's clearly going to play in somehow.
Yeah.
They didn't just bring the box back with Jack teaming up with Gavin for no reason. So it's going to play into it. So it has to somehow be a part of it.
They will be using the Pied Piper like soft compression in middle out software for it. So I guess.
Yeah, and maybe it's just the idea of this is what you guys could have. Versus like following your dream.
And also maybe it's like they have the box now, but then 2 years down the line they do what
they want to do.
Like it's
the
like
compression system. Yeah.
They do what Pied Piper's doing now, because Pied Piper is too early. The world wasn't ready to really understand it yet. Mm-hmm. So maybe In-Frame is going down that path.
Do you guys? So Gavin gets his job back and more of a bonus, but he has that weird elephant saying,
Amazing.
"I never forget."
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna like put them on the roof or something? What do you guys think?
I think there was foreshadowing for sure there.
I honestly thought when he was saying, "I have something for you guys outside," that he was gonna lead them to the roof.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I honestly thought for a second he was gonna release the elephant on them or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like have her sit on him, like in Ace Ventura.
I didn't know it was gonna happen.
But yeah, overall, it's a weird second to last episode.
It's really
Do you guys
weird.
think? Well, I know you loved it.
I liked it a lot, just because, like, I'll say it again, just because it felt like back on track and like progress is being made and like Pied Piper's future is being like furthered. But yeah.
But I wasn't even sure, was it being furthered or was it being like cut? Like it looked like it was about to be. I thought that the future was bright finally, and we had some semblance of a future. And now it's almost like I thought it was cut straight down, and like we're basically done here. Mm. We're on our last limbs, and we're done. Also, we didn't touch on though. What about the
Pipey?
Pipey.
Yeah, I just remembered.
So funny. I loved it.
It's like they're just desperate. But
obviously, it's a parody of that Microsoft Word clip.
Clippy
or whatever his name was.
But, like, I agree. I feel like they haven't really grown this episode because, like, he tried so hard to get more users, and the only users they got are just Jared's paid users.
And mainly, I also think a reason where I was a little bit frustrated with tonight's episode is because it was the penultimate episode of the season. So we just have one episode left, and there's so many questions, I think. And I would like to have some resolutions, and so I can go into the final episode with some idea of where we're going to finish. And now I'm looking at next episode as not only being the end of this season, but also I need a lot of answers, not just an answer with one situation. I mean, there's so many, I think, unanswered things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so
what?
It's,
like what?
Yeah.
Well, what's Pied Piper's future? Now, how does the box play into it? What's the deal with Hooli and Gavin and Jack? And then where's Monica play into it? And what about Bighead? He wasn't.
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
Well,
he
he's
was.
no money now.
Well,
So
maybe,
what is he?
but maybe he somehow always comes out with money. So I think he's gonna somehow be in the last episode. And then what about Code Rag and I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that.
They started a lot of
just so-
stories,
Yeah.
and then didn't really do it. Like the End Frame guys coming up with the idea of Pied Piper, like so they had to rush it. What happened to those guys?
There's just so many for me unanswered questions, and I feel I'm just disappointed. I think at this point in the season, I thought we'd had a little bit more clarity on some things. I get that the premise of the show is for there to be this type of drama and struggle, and it just seems like we could have had a little bit better of towards the end of the season to me. But we still have next week to
There's
to
one
really.
more left to redeem.
But
your thoughts.
don't you think that next week we're gonna get like a massive cliffhanger or hangers to lead us to next season? Because I don't.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like they usually do, anyways. Though.
Agreed, but just comparing it to other shows, it just seems like right now I don't know. I guess I'm just I don't know.
You
That's just me. That's
put
why
it
I'm
on a
mad.
pedestal, man. That's why you just want.
Just want some humor involved in it too. Like
Yeah.
I need some more Bachman.
It wasn't enough Erlich. Yeah, I agree. Do you guys want to go into some predictions
do it,
for
yeah.
the next
Yeah.
episode?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What do you guys think?
So this is an easy one. I think I'm definitely gonna like next week's episode more than tonight's. But more realistically, I think somehow that Pied Piper's gonna be saved with an assist from Bighead. I don't know what it is. I can't see that like seriously, but somehow he's gonna have maybe control of the box, and then because of his control, it's gonna save Pied Piper, and they're gonna somehow tie it all together. But I really think Bighead's gonna come to save the day for Pied Piper.
We have a lot of faith in Bighead.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't think he's gonna come back this season.
You think he's done for the
You
season?
think he's done?
I think so.
Huh.
I don't think he's that strong of a character. Like I don't know. He's poor.
He's is he poor?
Yeah, I mean,
Are we sure of that?
they pretty much said it.
I don't know. He
But-
had 20 million. He moved his pool. Like
Yeah.
it just seems like he could.
I
He's
could be
Richard's
wrong.
really good friend. So for some, I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Michael?
My prediction is kind of out there, but get ready. I predict that like Bangladesh's economy is gonna do well because there's so many Pied Piper accounts active there, and there's gonna be like globally someone's gonna take notice and be like, wait, Bangladesh is really doing really well with their data right now. What is going on? And then people are like, oh my God, it's because they all have Pied Piper accounts, and then it might be like a scandal because they were all like fake Pied Piper accounts, but people are gonna be like, oh shit, maybe like Pied Piper is actually like a legit thing, and it gets more daily active users.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one.
It's a good one. It wasn't that way out there. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous of that.
Mine aren't even that. I just wrote the click farm's gonna blow up in their faces. I think that's just an obvious prediction.
I think it will at first. Like I think it will blow up in their face because it's like probably very illegal or it's probably whatever. But then like I said, I think there will be some like unintended like benefits of so many people in Bangladesh having Pied Piper.
It's a good one. I think they might have to like try a new approach too. Like they might have to put this on pause and try and dumb it down or something. Cause I don't know. I feel like it's not working, but maybe Bangladesh will come through. Like that's a really good prediction.
Bangladesh, like, has the like official worst economy in the world.
I think you're really onto something because
Yeah.
the way that they showed them clicking for the last ending of the episode,
Yeah.
and they could really spin that into next season.
They're like that's it, notoriously. That's the word I was looking for. They notoriously have the worst economy.
a good
So
one.
that's why I was like, Bangladesh, worst economy. Their economy's gonna like do well.
Good job. Well, I guess you guys want to add anything else?
I want to see more Bernice. That's it. I just want to see more Bernice. I also have to say that I loved seeing Lori Bream's house.
Yeah, very empty.
And I loved her sign that said "Shoes will be taken off."
I want to see more funny Big Head because not Big Head, Erlich. I liked when he was walking in front of Richard. That was a really funny little joke when he's doing a little speech.
We officially do have more Erlich in the future because he now works for Pied Piper.
Yeah. Just always funny. And Jared, like a funnier Jared, not a care. I guess he is caring, but just funnier. I don't know.
I love Jared.
Anyways, everybody's great. But until then, where can we find you guys on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Michael Janak, MichaelJanak.
Okay. That's a great name, by the way. And you can find me on social media at Mike Rips. See you next week.
And I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo. See you for the last episode next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.